Hey guys, coming at you again today from Lake Ida Park. I wanted to do a video today about how suffering is something that is an internal thing that you are causing yourself. Pain will always be around, but suffering does not have to be. One of the great quotes that I heard was, watch the thought, feel the emotion, and observe the reaction. Because a lot of our suffering when it comes to sobriety and when it comes to living your life, even normal people in general, a lot of our suffering all of our suffering is caused by us. Your mind has a bunch of mental diarrhea that's going on in it. And when you consistently are judging your thoughts, judging yourself, judging things that are randomly running through your mind, you are creating something in yourself that does not have to be there. It is a hard technique to understand, or a hard process to go through, of understanding your thoughts are not real. Your thoughts just come and go, and when you can start learning to let them just pass by like clouds, and you understand that, hey, maybe I don't have to judge these thoughts. Maybe I don't have to think these thoughts. Maybe when they do come, which inevitably they will, maybe I can start to learn a process of processing those thoughts out and letting them just go by. Because a lot of times what happens with any addicts or alcoholics is that we get so wrapped up in this thought process, and the thought process being like, oh, all these things are happening to me. No, they're not happening to you. You are making up scenarios in your head, because when you're thinking about past things that have happened, that is just recycling memories. And then you're recycling memories and future tripping about those memories, which then that never get to live presently. You never get to do things that you get to understand how those thoughts work or how that process works, because your thoughts are a frequency or a vibration, and you are at a certain frequency now. And as you continue to notice and be aware, the awareness is what you truly are. You're not the thinker, you're the awareness behind the thinker. And when you start to become that awareness more often, you start to not let them run your life. A lot of our thoughts run our lives. We are go, go, go. We need to do things. We need to get stuff done. We need to be doing this for a certain person, this for another for work, and I need to eat this, and I need to do that. And it's consistently going and going and going. And my mind was like that too. About a year and a half ago, that's exactly what my mind was. And what I started to notice was, the more that I became aware of that thought process, understanding myself, understanding why I was even thinking those things, you start to understand that, like, a lot of your thoughts come from beliefs that are bullshit. They're not real beliefs. Somebody has imposed a belief on you, whether it be your parents or a friend or society or a job, whatever it is, and then you have made that belief your own. And because you're doing those, because you have that belief system built into yourself now, what you're starting to do is, myself included, I used to do this all the time, is that these beliefs then become real. You believe these things about yourself. Henceforth, everybody sees them, because that's the way you are living your life. But what I try to do now, and this works so great, please try this for yourself. Please just sit down and try this for yourself. It will work. 1, sit down when you have time and start to process your beliefs. Find something that is not true, or at least you think may be true. Write it down, then sit there with it for a little. See if you really believe that. Like, for instance, for me, I believed at the time that I would never start a podcast, or that I believed that I wouldn't take steps to get out of my finance job. And when I started sitting at it, I'm like, well, why do I think that? Why do I believe that? Why do I believe that I can't start a podcast? Because I was nervous about it, because I didn't want to do these things. I was lazy. But that was the old me. I also would say, like, for instance, the belief about the finance job. I thought, well, why do I think that, what belief is it stemming from that I can't quit this job that I've been in, that I'm miserable in for the last 12 years, and find something I like? Well, that's not true. I've always made it. I've always come out on top, or at least I've always come out in a really good situation. Why do I believe that I can't quit my finance job? Boom, quit my finance job last year. I've supported myself just fine. There are so many beliefs in your life that you are holding on to for no reason. And when you start to dissect them, meaning write them down and start to understand most of my beliefs, if not all of them, are bullshit, that I can reframe my thoughts, I can reframe what I tune into, I can reframe my beliefs, you truly start to understand that a lot of things that you're creating in your life, you are creating the reality you live in, and it is based on false beliefs. So I would say, one, highly recommend starting to do that. Start a belief journal and find out which ones you do believe, which ones you don't, and you'll notice most of them, a lot of them are negative for people, and it's a shame because we all have this God-given gift that we don't tap into because we believe something about ourselves. When you believe you are great, when you believe you are one, when you believe you are kind, when you believe you are joyous, when you believe all these things, your beliefs start to create your reality, which is awesome. It is a great thing. The second thing, highly recommend this. If you are struggling in sobriety or you're trying to get through it, you need to do a routine, especially in the beginning. We are all pattern individuals. Even people that don't drink or drug are pattern individuals. It could be any kind of pattern you can think of. Everybody has them. You have created a certain pattern in your life that has now become you. You cannot change that version of you and get out of that energy field until you decide to start doing new things. Until you decide, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a journal or a list of things I have for the next week. I'm going to do these every day no matter what. Because what happens with the new routine that you start, one, it gets you out of your head. Gets people thinking about, hey, I need to do this today, I need to do this. And when they're better for you, better things come into your life. For instance, for me, mine started so simple in the beginning. Mine started wake up, meditate, go to the gym, play Scrabble with my grandmom, go to a meeting, do cryotherapy, eat better, walk my dog, listen to happier podcasts, listen to happier music, and I would cross them off. And what I started to notice was I just started doing those things. I don't need to think about doing them anymore. I just am that. So when you start to do those routines, it gets you put into a new energy field. You are receiving new information because you are putting yourself in a better place. And then God comes, or your higher power, whatever you want to call it, comes into your life and says, oh, I see you're doing better. I'm going to give you some better things because that is the new version of you that is existing. So the routine is so important. It is so important because you need to break that. Let's just say you're an old rickety house trying to get this new foundation built. The routine is how you build the new foundation. The new house, the old house needs to be torn down. The new house needs to be built from the ground up. The foundation is the most important part. If you have no foundation, how can you receive new things or a new life or money or a house or a relationship, whatever it may be? If you have no foundation built, you will ruin it. Doesn't matter sober or not, you will ruin it. You need to have a routine built so that you're able to get through the times, because life is going to life. That's what it does. And when life lifes, you need to have a foundation built to be able to withstand those that life process without going wild, without this. It's more like this. And then you create balance in your life. A balance between, you need the old version of you that had to exist so that you could be the new version. You've learned a lot of lessons. And what I will say from all of this is, as I built new routines, as I've trusted in God fully, just leaving Philadelphia 9 months ago and not having any plan on what I was doing, just knew I was trusting my intuition to do something better, I have continued to be given new information, new things, new people, new places, new events that fall into my life without me doing anything but helping others, helping myself, loving others, loving myself, and continuing to trust and have faith. I don't know everything how it all unfolds. I just know that God always has your back. And when you decide you want better, you will get better, because you need to be forged into the new version of you, or there's nothing to give. You're just still receiving the same thing you've been in, that same energy loop, same energy loop, same energy loop. And as you continue to vibrate higher vibrational things will come to you. And what I really hope that everyone takes from this is that you learn from your mistakes. You learn that you are the best version of you today that you've ever been. Just continue to move forward. And when you wake up, try a new routine. 30 days. That's all it is. Try 30 days. I only did it for 9 before I noticed a huge difference in everything of my life. 30 days. Make yourself do certain things and watch your life start to change. So try the belief system, try the routine. And actually, I'm going to add one last thing here. In the morning when you wake up, do not move. And when I say do not move, I don't mean don't move at all. I mean, take 5 minutes to start your day. I try and do 10 to 20 every morning. Just sit there. Your brain is at its lowest possible frequency of if it's like gamma or some kind of frequency that it's in, that it's at its lowest thought process. It's not going to be going like this. The minute you start looking at your phone, the minute you get up and start moving, making breakfast, doing all these things, you are then getting into this. Sit, notice what your thoughts are for the day. Be grateful for the day. Understand that these things, the reason people that are sober say these things is not because we're trying to lie to you. It's the opposite. We want to help you. We want to help you understand that this is all a process. And a process isn't like, hey, I am on step 1 and all of a sudden I'm on step 10. No. Step 1, step 1.5, step 2, step 3, so forth and so on. You cannot do these things or have a better life and a sober life, which is amazing. It is amazing to feel this way. You cannot have it until you are it. And as you consistently build, your life levels up. It slowly levels. And then all of a sudden, you're a version of yourself you knew existed. You always knew it existed. You just didn't tap into it. So when I tell you, I come to you with love and compassion and empathy for everyone that is, even the people that don't use alcohol or drugs to cope with things. I come to you with a sense of first gratitude for being able to do this in a beautiful park in Florida, but I also come to you with a sense of I understand everything you're going through. And the last 1.5 to 2 year process, if I would have been told that this is what I would have had to go through, being as lazy as I was back then, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have said, no, I'm good. I'll just stay in finance. But I was pushed. God was my sponsor. God was my friend. God was the love that I needed in my life to be able to go, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll try one thing. And then it was another, and then another, and then a routine, and then another, and then adding on to the routine. And now it is all health, love, kindness, service work, teachings. I don't preach to anyone. I just teach from where I came from. If you knew the mindset and the unhealthy nature of my body and mind, if you knew me like people do back home, if you knew me and where I've come from, you would never know this version could exist. I didn't either, but now I do. I just am. So when you continue to go through that process, find people that will help you, listen to happier podcasts and music, and find people that have been in your place like me and then can tell you for a fact sober living is so much better when you continue to work on yourself. It is an introspective journey. And just always remember, your thoughts are not real. You can change them at any time. You are choosing to justify the thoughts. That's the hardest part. Don't justify them. God will work miracles in your life when you're ready for miracles, okay? So please comment, please share. Want to continue this podcast? I'll be doing a full episode tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll be doing it just to go over a couple of things that I do for my routine and how I've stayed sober and the community I've built. That way you can kind of get a structure of what that kind of looks like. So in case you're wondering, how did he do this or where did he go? I'm going to do a more detailed one, but I just wanted to give you some ideas about thoughts, about beliefs, and about a routine. Love you all. I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.